Today I want to share with you 7 signs to look out for, signs that indicate the universe is conspiring in your favor. Have you ever felt like something amazing is just around the corner? Like the universe is about to shower you with blessings? Well, these are signs that something good is indeed about to happen in your life. The first sign is a shift in your mindset. You see, the hardest part about change is breaking free from the habits of the past. But when you start to think differently, when you become defined by a vision of the future rather than memories of the past, that's when magic starts to happen. You step into the unknown and you realize that this place of uncertainty is where all manifestations originate from. So, if you find yourself thinking differently, if you're no longer trapped by the limitations of your past, then get ready, because something good is on its way. Let's take a closer look at the second sign, which is an awakening to new possibilities. Imagine your brain as a big, complex machine. For most people, this machine is set to replay all the things they've experienced in the past, like a movie on repeat. But when you start to awaken to new possibilities, it's like you've discovered a whole new channel on the TV of your mind. Suddenly, you start to believe in a future that's different from anything you've known before. It's like dreaming of a place you've never been to. It's not something you can touch or see, but you feel it deep inside you. And here's where the magic happens. Your brain begins to change shape, almost like a puzzle shifting to fit a new picture. Let's explore the third sign, which is a feeling of inspiration and enthusiasm. Imagine waking up every day feeling excited about the future, filled with joy and enthusiasm for what's to come. That's what it means to be inspired. It's like having a fire burning inside of you, driving you forward towards your dreams. When you start to emotionally embrace a future reality, when you fall in love with the vision of what's possible, something incredible happens. Your body begins to believe that it's already happening, and you become a magnet for all the good things that are on their way to you. Think of inspiration and enthusiasm as the fuel that propels you towards your dreams. When you're filled with excitement and passion, you're unstoppable. You have a renewed sense of energy and purpose, and you're ready to tackle any challenge that comes your way. But here's the thing. Inspiration and enthusiasm aren't just fleeting emotions. They're powerful forces that can transform your life. When you're inspired, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You're open to new possibilities and willing to take risks to make your dreams a reality. So if you're feeling inspired, if you're filled with joy and excitement about the future, then congratulations. Something amazing is about to unfold. Trust in the process, follow your heart, and keep nurturing that feeling of inspiration. It's like planting seeds in a garden. When you water them with enthusiasm and belief, they'll grow into beautiful flowers that bloom and flourish. Let's take a closer look at the fourth sign, which is a sense of empowerment. Empowerment is like having a superpower. It's the feeling of being strong, confident, and capable. When you truly believe in yourself and the possibilities that lie ahead, something incredible happens. You become unstoppable. Imagine it like this. You're no longer waiting for success to feel empowered. You're not sitting around waiting for wealth to feel abundant or for a new relationship to feel love. Instead, you understand that true empowerment comes from within. It's not something you have to wait for or rely on others to give you. It's something you already have inside of you. When you feel empowered, you become like a magnet for all the good things the universe has to offer. You start to attract positive experiences, opportunities, and people into your life. It's like the universe responds to your confidence and belief in yourself by sending even more goodness your way. Think of it like this. When you feel empowered, you radiate a certain energy. It's like a beacon of light that draws positive things towards you. People are naturally drawn to confident, empowered individuals, and they want to be around them. Let's explore the fifth sign, which is a shift in your energy. Your energy is like a precious resource. It's where you invest your attention and focus. Imagine it's like having a bank account, and every thought and emotion is like a deposit or withdrawal from that account. When you constantly dwell on the past or worry about the future, it's like you're spending all your energy on things that aren't happening right now. It's like trying to drive forward while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. All that energy you're using to dwell on the past or worry about the future is energy that could be better spent in the present moment. But when you're able to let go of the past and stop worrying about the future, something amazing happens. Your energy shifts. Instead of being scattered and divided, your energy becomes focused and aligned. You become fully present, fully engaged in the here and now. Think of it like tuning a radio dial. When you're constantly focused on the past or worrying about the future, it's like your radio is tuned to static. But when you let go of all that and become fully present, it's like you found the perfect frequency. Suddenly, everything comes into focus, and you start to feel more alive, more vibrant. Let's take a closer look at the sixth sign, which is a sense of surrender. Surrendering means letting go of the need to control every little thing and instead trusting that everything will work out in its own time. It's like floating downstream instead of trying to swim against the current. When you surrender to the present moment, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. You stop resisting and start flowing with the natural rhythm of life. Imagine you're on a journey, and instead of constantly worrying about where you're going or how you'll get there, you simply trust that the universe has a plan for you. You understand that everything happens for a reason, even if you can't see it right now. And so, you surrender to the process, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. If you're feeling this sense of surrender in your life, if you're able to let go and trust in the process, then get ready, because something wonderful is on its way. It's like the universe is saying, "Relax, I've got this." And when you can release the need to control every outcome, you make space for miracles to happen. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It's about finding peace in the midst of uncertainty and knowing that you'll be okay no matter what happens. It's about trusting yourself and the universe to guide you in the right direction. And lastly, the seventh sign is a feeling of alignment. It's like when everything falls into place and you know you're exactly where you're meant to be. You see, when you're living in alignment with your true purpose, it's like following a map to your heart's desire. You're doing what truly makes you happy, what fills you with joy and excitement. And when you're in this state, you just know that you're on the right path. Living in alignment means that you prioritize inner peace and fulfillment above all else. You understand that true abundance doesn't just come from external things like money or possessions. Instead, it comes from within, from being at peace with yourself and living authentically. So if you're feeling aligned, if you wake up excited to tackle the day, if you're following your passion and living your truth, then that's a sure sign that something incredible is about to happen in your life. It's like the universe is saying, "You're on the right track, keep going." So congratulations, my friend, because you're about to experience some amazing blessings coming your way. If you're experiencing any of these signs, if you're feeling a shift in your mindset, awakening to new possibilities, feeling inspired about and changing it, you begin to become conscious of your unconscious actions or habits or behaviors and modify them. And then we have to begin to look at the emotions that we live by every single day that keep us connected to the past and decide, do these emotions belong in our future? So most people are trying to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. And can you select a new possibility in the quantum field and begin to emotionally embrace that future every single day to such a degree that your body, as the unconscious mind, the objective mind, does not know the difference between the experience in your life that's creating the emotion, and the emotion that you're fabricating by thought alone, to the degree that you begin to signal new genes and new ways to change your body to look like the experience has already happened. Now, the latest research in epigenetics says it's absolutely possible. This every day, installing the circuitry every day, conditioning the body into the emotion of the future, that your body begins to change to look like it's already happened. Now this is where it gets fun, because now you no longer have to go anywhere to get it. If you think that your thoughts have something to do with your future, just from a theoretical standpoint, that your thoughts create your destiny, and you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, well then your life isn't going to change very much, as long as you're thinking the same way. If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you're left with the memories of the past. Is it possible then that the way you think and the way you feel can begin to produce effects in your outer world? Now that isn't something that you swallow in one bite. It's a process of gaining knowledge. It's a process of practice. It's a process of experience. But once you start seeing those synchronicities, those coincidences, those opportunities, that start to fall into place because you're experiencing change in your outer world. If you're doing the work, you're going to start paying attention to what you're doing inside of you that's producing the effect outside of you. And once you correlate the changes of what you're doing inside of you with the effect you produce outside of you, you're going to pay attention to what you did, and you're going to do it again. And all of a sudden, you're going to start believing more that you're the creator of your life and less of the victim of your life. And those same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the exact same experiences, and we anticipate the same feelings or emotions from those experiences, and those emotions are the payoff that drive our very same thoughts. Well, our biology, our neurocircuitry, our neurochemistry, our hormones, and even our gene expression will be equal to how we think, how we act, and how we feel. And how we think, how we act, and how we feel is called our personality. And our personality creates our personal reality. That's it. I want people to begin to understand that thoughts are very powerful, feelings drive our thoughts, and that they can begin to create a better life for themselves once they understand some of these principles. We live in a world where often when people think about visioning the future, they vision stuff. So you have a vision of the car you want, or you have a vision of an amount of money you want, or you have a vision of a home you want, and you see this with people with their vision boards. What's your take on that? And is that the right type of visioning? And what is the right type of visioning? Well, we do so many different variations because I think people integrate information differently. And all of those cars and homes and whatever that is, they are symbols of what it looks like when a person actually arrives at this concept called abundance, right? So if those things help them to associate with something that creates a feeling of abundance, and they're building their vision board to help them to get clear on their intent, then that's fine. Because they're associating objects or things or material things that they'll say, that's when I know that I'm abundant. That's fine. Other people will say, look, abundance just means that I have more than I need, and I'm happy with that. And for them, there's a feeling that is associated with that. And when they begin to dream about their future, they may see themselves in a scene or see themselves a certain way. I don't care what it takes for the person to get there, because once they have their abundance, and this happens quite a bit in our work, when you finally have everything you want, there's only one thing you're going to ask yourself: how am I going to contribute to the world? How am I going to make a difference? So we use different tools to help people to get to that point. But if the person's doing the vision board and they're saying, when I get my new car, I get my new house, I get my new relationship, then I'm going to feel so great. Well, then they're back to the program, waiting for it to happen, for them to feel the emotion. They're believing their outer world has to change in order for them to feel better. There's no effect of drawing the experience to you that way. So the person has to use those tools to get them into the emotional state for them to feel like it's already happened. Now think about this. If you get up from a creative process and you feel grateful, you feel a love for life, you feel a joy for existence, you feel a passion for the moment, you will not be looking for your future because you'll feel like it's already happened. It's the moment that we start feeling those self-limiting emotions, that we feel separation, and then we start looking for it again. Well then, if you're waiting, you're not creating, you're in separation again. So then, whatever it takes for you to move into a state of being. And what is a state of being? Thoughts are the vocabulary of the brain. Feelings are the vocabulary of your body. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So then, if you wake up in the morning and you come back to your senses with a clean slate, and you say, I don't feel anything, and you say, well, let me start thinking about all the problems in my life. Well, all those problems are connected to different people or different objects or things at different times and places. The moment you remember your problems, a memory is a record of the past. You're thinking in the past. Every one of those problems has an emotion associated with them. So all of a sudden you start feeling unhappy, you start feeling bitter, you start feeling frustrated. So now your body's in the past. So then most people then create a state of being that's connected to their past. The same behaviors create the same experiences, and the same experiences produce the same emotions, and those very same emotions drive the very same thoughts. And your biology, your neurocircuitry, your neurochemistry, your neurohormones, and even your genetic expression is equal to how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. So then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, a new life, then you would have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You would have to become aware of your unconscious thoughts and observe them. You would have to pay attention to your automatic habits and behaviors and modify them. And you would have to look at the emotions you live by every single day that are connected to your past and decide if those emotions belong in your future. You see, most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. And you are here this week to learn vital information about creating a future and be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past. Because if you are not defined by some vision that is bigger than you and you are not passionate about that vision, then you are left with the old hardware of the past in your brain and you will be predictable in your life. So would you agree then? New thoughts, new information should lead to new choices. New choices should lead to new behaviors. And new behaviors should create new experiences. And new experiences should produce new emotions. And those new emotions should drive new thoughts. And that's called evolution. So if your brain is a record of the past and you don't have a vision of the future, then you are living in the past and you will never arrive at that new future. Now there's another potential for you to exist free from the chains of the old self. That potential exists right now. Now where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So you want that energy to move right to the top of your head. So then as you inhale, you bring that energy all the way up to the top. You keep following your breath. You lock all the way to the top. When you get to the top, now you hold your breath. And when you hold your breath, you contract those intrinsic muscles and you begin to lift those muscles up and you begin to compress those muscles and you begin to push that cerebral spinal fluid up into your brain. So then why do I ask you to inhale and hold your breath? Now this isn't inhaling and turning purple and pushing. If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. It's a slow, steady breath and you follow that breath all the way to the top, either to the top of your head or you put your awareness on where that pineal gland is between the back of your throat and the back of your head. Now, when you inhale, that inhalation is very slow and very steady. It's not a big inhalation and pushing. It's a slow, steady breath, and you're contracting these muscles and coordinating it, and you're following your breath all the way to the top of your head. And when you get to the top of your head, I'm going to ask you to inhale a little bit more, and as you pull up, you're going to lock these muscles down even further, and you're lifting them up. Once you lift them up and you have your attention either on the top of your head or the space that your pineal gland occupies in space, I'm going to ask you to lock those muscles down and pump, squeeze, or push. And I want you to push that fluid up into your brain by squeezing the muscles. Not by holding your breath harder, but by squeezing those muscles. I want you to begin to pump that fluid and begin to compress up against your pineal gland. When you do this breath, you have to demonstrate a will that's greater than any program. You have to find a level of intensity or a level of passion that's greater than the body as the mind or any addiction to any emotion. You have to be inspiration, the movement of energy. Don't be afraid of it. Just surrender into it. For some people, their body will do unusual things. That's information trying to be integrated into it. Don't be afraid of it. Just surrender into it. If your body does weird things, more than likely that's energy moving to your brain. If you have a lapse of consciousness or you all of a sudden find yourself on the ground, that's energy moving into your brain. It's happened to me numerous times. It's a sign that you're getting close or at least doing it correctly. Now where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So you want that energy to move right to the top of your head. Inspiration, the movement of energy. You have to find a level of intensity or a level of passion that's greater than the body as the mind or any addiction to any emotion. Don't be afraid of it. Just surrender into it. On a Sunday morning, while she was in the shower, her husband said goodbye to his 2 children, yelled something to her while she was in the shower, and then went to the tallest building in Amsterdam and jumped off the building and committed suicide. Now that is a stressful event, and when she got the news, she experienced all the emotions that people experience from something that's shocking and traumatic like that. She was suffering, she was in pain, she was resentful, she was guilty, she was confused, she was angry. She went through the whole gamut of emotions, and all of those emotions, by the way, are derived from the hormones of stress. So she has an event in her life. It changes her biologically. She doesn't know how to control her emotional reaction. It turns into a mood, one long emotional reaction. If you keep reviewing that event in your mind, you begin to produce the same chemistry in your brain and body as if the event was occurring. So her body is being conditioned to the past because she's reliving the experience 50 to 100 times in a day, and her body is beginning to believe it's in the same past experience over and over again. It ultimately goes from a mood to a temperament, and now people are asking her in her life, "Why are you so upset?" She tells the story, and she's basically saying, I am this way because of this event that happened to me 4 months ago. So then if we keep that going for extended periods of time, and those emotions are driving our thoughts, and we can't think greater than how we feel, our feelings have become the means of thinking. We're thinking in the past, and now we're stuck in our biology. So one day she wakes up, and she's completely paralyzed from her waist down. And she can't get out of bed, so they rush her to the hospital. They do MRIs, they do all the tests. They can't find anything significant with her, so they just diagnose her with neuritis. And so now she's bedridden, and she cannot literally get out of bed. So now she can't work, she can't take care of her children. Her mother has to move in with her, and she doesn't have any money because she's not working, and her stress levels go up. So now the condition gets worse. As her stress levels go up, it's the same chemicals of stress that are knocking the brain and body out of balance, signaling the wrong genes in the wrong way. And another few months later, she develops these huge ulcerations in all the mucous membranes of her body, in her mouth, her throat, her upper stomach, her bladder, her vagina, her anus. She's got these huge ulcers. Now she can't eat, and if she can't eat, she's knocking her body now out of chemical balance even more, and it hurts. So now she's spiraling downward, And then she finally starts noticing her symptoms getting worse, and she goes to the doctor, and they diagnose her with esophageal cancer. Now, the moment she gets the diagnosis of esophageal cancer, now she gets even more stressed, and she's in fear now, and she realizes that her children may not have a mom. And so she came to one of our workshops, and I remember specifically because she came in with crutches and a wheelchair and a walker, and she sat on the left side of the room. And it was an introductory level course, and she understood that she could change it intellectually, but she had a very big challenge ahead of her, and she realized how much she was in her past. She had a vision of her future, like she wasn't visualizing anything, she just got a very clear vision. And she was so excited that she went home and she did her meditation every single day. Now she understood that she had to upregulate new genes and downregulate genes that had to do with her disease, and that every day she had to knock on the genetic door. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I'm certain that there were days that she didn't feel like doing her meditation, and she did that anyway. She did it anyway. There were days where she had a tremendous amount of doubt, and she didn't think it was possible, but she did her meditations every single day. The universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving, so we gotta come initiated into this and understand it. If you want to create a new life, a new personal reality, you gotta change your personality, which means you better start thinking about what you've been thinking about and changing it. You begin to become conscious of your unconscious actions or habits or behaviors and modify them. And then we have to begin to look at the emotions that we live by every single day that keep us connected to the past and decide, do these emotions belong in our future? So most people are trying to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. And can you select a new possibility in the quantum field and begin to emotionally embrace that future every single day to such a degree that your body, as the unconscious mind, the objective mind, does not know the difference between the experience in your life that's creating the emotion and the emotion that you're fabricating by thought alone, to the degree that you begin to signal new genes and new ways to change your body to look like the experience has already happened. Now, the latest research in epigenetics says it's absolutely possible. This every day, installing the circuitry every day, conditioning the body into the emotion of the future, that your body begins to change to look like it's already happened. Now, this is where it gets fun, because now you no longer have to go anywhere to get it. If you think that your thoughts have something to do with your future, just from a theoretical standpoint, that your thoughts create your destiny, and you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, well, then your life isn't going to change very much as long as you're thinking the same way. If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you're left with the memories of the past. Is it possible then that the way you think and the way you feel can begin to produce effects in your outer world? Now, that isn't something that you swallow in one bite. It's a process of gaining knowledge. It's a process of practice. It's a process of experience. But once you start seeing those synchronicities, those coincidences, those opportunities that start to fall into place because you're experiencing change in your outer world, if you're doing the work, you're going to start paying attention to what you're doing inside of you that's producing the effect outside of you. And once you correlate the changes of what you're doing inside of you with the effect you produce outside of you, you're going to pay attention to what you did, and you're going to do it again. And all of a sudden, you're going to start believing more that you're the creator of your life and less of the victim of your life. And those same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the exact same. The hardest part of everything we're talking about is simply making time for it. That's it. It's about setting aside some time for yourself to focus on improving your life. For a short while each day, either in the morning or before bed, ask yourself, what is the best version of myself I want to be today? Promise yourself you won't get up until you feel like that person. Then work on overcoming any limitations that come up. People often think self-love is about treating yourself to things like manicures or fancy cars, But that's not true self-love. True self-love is when you sit with yourself and work on changing deep-seated thoughts, beliefs, or emotional habits from your past. This kind of self-love involves pushing through pain, fear, and sadness to reach joy and freedom. These emotions are just trapped energy in your body. When you break free from these emotional chains, joy follows naturally. When you free yourself from old emotional habits, you open up new energy for creating a better life. As you start to love and respect yourself, you also begin to understand and empathize with others. Your new perspective allows you to connect with people without reacting in the same old ways. The key is making time for this process. Imagine starting each day by deciding who you want to be, and don't get up until you feel like that person. As you train your mind and body to match this new state, you'll find it easier over time. A new state of being means a new personality, and a new personality means a new reality. Changing how you think and feel is like rewiring your brain. Some people use substances to change their brain chemistry, but true change comes from within. You have to want to change deeply. No one can force you to change. It has to come from your own desire. Some people make dramatic changes quickly because they decide firmly to do so. This decision changes their chemistry and biology. Similarly, strong faith or intense emotional states can influence your physical reality. To make lasting change, you need firm intention and understanding of how to shift beyond just conscious thought. Your mind's old habits are strong, but with practice, it's possible to recondition your body to support new thoughts and feelings. The latest research shows that we're not stuck with our old ways forever. Our brains and bodies are adaptable. When you think about who you want to be, your brain starts working to resolve this goal by connecting different neurons and creating new understandings. This is called intention. As you learn and practice new ideas, your brain builds new connections. Mentally rehearsing new behaviors helps your brain prepare for the future. By focusing on new patterns, you start thinking and acting in line with those patterns. You don't wait for success to feel gratitude or love. Instead, you start feeling those emotions now, and your body begins to believe it is already living in that future.